So unless you've been living under a rock, you will be aware of the fact that Vinted are effectively in core meltdown and are in a position whereby they are pushing sellers towards a cliff edge of either being banned off the platform permanently or becoming a pro seller. And that's the exact situation that Marco's found himself here in. He's sent me a message asking for some advice. And so in this video, we're going to break it down a little bit for some of the considerations that Marco needs to have and perhaps that you might want to have if you're in a position where you've got to make that decision in the near future. So the big mystery around commercial selling, everyone wrongfully thinks that it's the AI that's responsible for banning people for commercial selling. And I'm sorry to say that that isn't actually the case. There are some people out there who are reporting other accounts for commercial selling, and it's then the AI and now human moderators that are responsible for making the decision as to whether that is enforced. So there is a way that you can go and pull your data off Vinted and then give that to your own AI, like for instance ChatGPT, to find out exactly what the reason was for your actual suspension. If you need help about that, just drop it in the comments, let me know, and I'll do another video. So let's say, for instance, you've been given that information and now you need to know what to do for commercial selling and how to prevent it again. So Vinted have a thing. There is a common misconception that Vinted is against resellers. They're not. What Vinted again is against is commercial forms of reselling. Now that in this instance is descriptive words and salesy techniques that are used within your title and description. So a classic example of that, and something that I fell foul of recently, was utilizing the word waterproof. Now that is just such a basic word that I think everyone can appreciate and likely has used in their descriptions in the past. You've probably got half actually sat on your account right now. Now Vinted's perception of that is that as a reseller you can't guarantee that that item is waterproof, but what you can say is that it contains Gore-Tex technology, and then it's up to the person who's buying it to go, well hang on, that means it's waterproof. So what you need to do is base your listing descriptions on actual fact. So if the item's got Gore-Tex technology in it, you're well within your rights to include that in the description. But what you can't say is that it's waterproof. What you need to make sure is that you are only using facts in order to describe the item that you're trying to sell. If you use anything that can be considered descriptive and salesy but not factual, if you do find yourself whether you're getting reported by someone or an AI review and human review from a moderator, they are going to be looking at these kind of things. So you need to make sure that you're only using descriptive words which are factual. Now the next question here, it's a twofold. Is it worth me going for a pro seller account? Now this is really dependent on your personal circumstances, and what I would do here, it's important for me to say, is not capable of giving you professional financial advice. So fundamentally you really need to speak to an accountant, because I think what I'm about to say has financial implications for you. I don't know your personal circumstances, Marco, and I don't know anyone else's personal circumstances who are watching this and considering whether or not to become a pro seller. But what I would say is this: the tax implications around your reselling is something that not a lot of people are considering, and they need to have it at the forefront of their mind, because if they're close to a tax threshold, you know, potentially the higher earnings threshold, for instance, because of the money they're making through their job and the money they're making through their reselling business, they're in a position where they're potentially going to be paying 40% in tax. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to give 40% of my profits away to the government because of tax implications. And so I personally made the decision to structure my business within a limited company, although you do have the option to go sole trader. In either case, those are some of the options that are available for you, and are something that you really need to do some proper digging in to make an informed decision as to whether that's the right thing for you.